examine the Unity user interface. The default layout of the user interface can be broken down into 5 different areas in which the bulk of development takes place. These areas are the hierarchy pane, the project pane, the scene and game pane, the inspector pane, and the menu bar. In this video, we will examine the elements of the layout and explore the project, hierarchy, and scene panes. This user interface is highly modular, meaning that each of these panes can be resized and repositioned. Notice that in the top of some of these panes, there are multiple tabs corresponding to different windows. These tabs can be moved between different panes and can be dragged out to create a new pane or floating window. Options for a tab can be found in the top right-hand corner of a pane. The arrangement of these tabs and panes can be saved and loaded in the Layout drop-down menu at the top right-hand corner of the user interface. Let's turn our attention to the Project tab. This tab reveals the assets stored in our asset directory. At the top of this tab is a Create Rollout menu on the left, and a search field with some settings on the right. Below this tab are 2 columns, Folder Hierarchy on the left, and Folder Contents on the right. Files and folders placed in the project's asset folder will appear here. In the same pane, we also have the Console tab. This tab serves as the primary editor feedback and debugging tool for scripting and behavior development. Up here is the Hierarchy tab. This tab displays the objects present in the current scene. Like the Project tab, it has a Create Rollout and a search field. A new scene in Unity will contain a main camera and a directional light by default. Next, we have the Scene tab. This is the spatial and visual layout of the current scene. Along the top, from the left to the right, we have a rollout containing render settings, a 2D, 3D toggle, a Use Scene Lighting toggle, an audio toggle, and a drop-down list for various effects. Over on the right, we have a Gizmos drop-down and a search field, which is linked to the hierarchy. In the top right-hand corner of the scene view, we have a View Cube, which can change the perspective angle and change the view type, toggling between isometric and perspective. Clicking an empty space with the middle mouse button will pan the scene view. Alt left clicking will orbit the view. The right mouse button will allow rotation of the perspective and will enable the view to be translated using the W, A, S, and D keys. The mouse wheel controls zoom by default. Double-clicking an object in the hierarchy will center the view on that object. In the same pane, we have the Game view. This view is locked to the perspective of the main camera in the scene. Along the top, there are a different set of buttons for this view. There is a drop-down for displays, a drop-down for the aspect ratio, a maximize on play button, a mute audio button, a stats button, and a Gizmos rollout like we saw in the scene view.